Good morning, children. Welcome back to English class. Hope you have gone through the previous lesson. Let me ask you one question. What present did Gobo bring? What present did old Gobo bring? Old Gobo brings a dish of doves. To whom does he want to give it? He wants to give it to Launcelot's master Shylock. At this time, what does Launcelot tell his father about giving the gift? Launcelot tells his father to give a halter to Shylock than giving the dish of doves. What does Launcelot tell his father about his suffering in the Jews' service? He tells his father that he has grown so thin for want of proper food, and his ribs can be counted with a finger. This shows that Lancelot has been suffering in the Jews' service. So, what does he decide to do? He decided to quit his service and join Bassanio's service. Okay, and now you can, or we came across Lancelot and his father, old Gobbo, talking to Bassanio. So this is a comical scene, and this makes the Elizabethan audience so amused. See Lancelot come in front and say a few words, and then again hides behind his father. And so this make the Elizabethan audience laugh. Okay, so take your textbook, page number 42. So Gobbo tells Bassanio about his son. He tells like this: "Here's my son, sir, a poor boy." So Lancelot corrects him and says, "Not a poor boy, sir, but the rich Jews man that would, sir, as my father shall specify." My father shall specify means my father will explain all about it. That's what it. Gobbo replies that he had a great infection, sir, as one would say. So Gobbo, he says he had a great infection. Do you think that is correct? He uses the word infection for the word affection. Actually, Gobbo wants to say that his son Lancelot has a great desire to work for Bassanio. So you have, see, in the textbook, you have to mark or scribble these words there. Otherwise, you will also read like that. Okay. So instead of the word infection, Gobbo actually should have used affection. He hath a great affection, sir. That means he has a great desire to work or serve Bassanio. Okay, Lancelot. Indeed, the short and the long is, I serve the Jew and have a desire as my father shall specify. So Lancelot tells Bassanio that indeed the short and the long, that means the sum total of what he wants to say is that he has a desire. Okay, he has a desire. What is the desire? He has a desire to serve Bassanio, and he had been serving the Jew. Okay, Gobo. His master and he, saving your worship's reverence, are scarce cater cousins. So Gobo says that his master, that means Shylock, and his son Launcelot, how are they? Are they getting on together well? No. According to Gobo, he says that they are scarce cater cousins. Actually, cater cousins means cater cousins, fellow bread eaters. That is the meaning, fellow bread eaters. That means friends. Scarce is the negative meaning. Okay, so that means they are not in friendly terms. Scarce cater cousins, they are not in friendly terms, or Shylock and Lancelot are not getting on well. Okay, they do not get along well. Lancelot. To be brief, the very truth is that the Jew, having done me wrong, doth cause me, as my father, being, I hope, an old man, shall fructify unto you. Here also, Lancelot also uses, I told you know in the previous class, he uses high sounding words but wrong words. Here also, instead of the word certify, he used fructify. Okay, actually he should have used the word certify. So instead of that word, he says fructify. So to be brief, so to tell briefly the very truth, the fact is that the Jew having done me wrong. So he says that according to Lancelot, the Jew has done him wrong. That caused me. Okay, that means he has not giving him enough food, and he has grown very thin, and he was famished in Shylock's service. That's why he said Shylock has done him wrong. I hope an old man shall fructify unto you. So here he says that I hope this old man, that is his father, shall certify unto you. Instead of fructify, you have to read it as certify. Go. I have here a dish of doves, and that I would bestow upon your worship, and my suit is. So Gobo presents, or he is ready to give the dish of doves to Bassanio. Okay, so he tells that I would like to bestow these doves. Okay, the dish of doves for Bassanio. And like giving this gift, he says that he has a request. Okay, and my suit is, here suit means request, and he does not complete that. Lancelot, in very brief, the suit is impertinent to myself. Again, he uses another wrong word. In very brief, in okay, in short, or in fact, the suit is, okay, the request is what is pertinent to myself. That means actually it's not impertinent. He should have used pertinent. That means concerned with myself. The request is concerned with Lancelot. What his father wants to say is a request concerning with Lancelot. As your worship shall know by this honest old man, and though I say it, though old man, yet poor man, my father. So he says that my father, this honest poor old man, will say it. Then even then he is not telling what it is. He just say that my father, or his father, the old man will say. Bassanio, one speak for both. What would you? Okay, so Bassanio could not um understand what the father and the son are telling, because one will say half and then the other will say. So Bassanio asked, let one of you say. Okay, let one of you speak. What do you want? Or what do you want me to do for you? Lancelot, serve you, sir. So Lancelot tells that he wants to serve him. Okay, that is to enter Bassanio's service. Gobbo, that is the very defect of the matter, sir. So again, Gobbo uses the word defect instead of the word effect. So Gobbo says, okay, sir, that is the sum total of the matter, okay, or that is the substance of the matter, sir, or this is what we want to tell. So the wrong word for effect. He had used defect for effect. That means the real substance. Bassan, I know thee well, thou hast obtained thy suit. Shylock, thy master, spoke with me this day, and hath preferred thee, if it be preferment, to leave a rich Jew service, to become the follower of so poor a gentleman. So Shylock tells Lancelot that I know you well. See, I know thee. Thee means you. I know you well, and thou hast obtained thy request. Your request is granted. Okay, that means I agree. Bassanio says that he has already agreed to his request. And then he adds that Shylock, his master, the previous master, spoke to Bassanio about Lancelot that day itself. Okay, and he had preferred thee. He had preferred thee means Shylock had recommended this Lancelot to Bassanio. If it be preferment to leave a rich Jew service, see, nobody will leave the service of a rich man to take up the service of a poor person. So that's what uh, Bassanio asks. If it is any promotion to leave the service of a rich man to serve a poor gentleman like me. Okay, that's what he asks. Whether he wants to leave the service of a rich man and take up the job of a or take up the service of a poor gentleman. Lancelot. The old proverb is very well parted between my master Shylock and you, sir. You have the grace of God, sir, and he hath enough. Okay, see why Shylock has recommended, according to Shylock, this Lancelot is a big eater. That means, so according to Shylock, he eats gluttonously. And according to Shylock, or why he recommended this Lancelot to Bassanio is that he thinks that, or he says that, let this fellow eat and spend the borrowed money of Bassanio. Okay, so with this intention, that Shylock has recommended Lancelot to Bassanio. Okay, so Lancelot replies, the old proverb. So he quotes, or he says about this old proverb. What is that old proverb? So he says the old proverb applies very truly between my master Shylock and user, the previous master and the new master. This old proverb applies truly with my two masters. What is that? You have the grace of God. Who has the grace of God? Bassanio has the grace of God, sir, and he hath enough. Who is that he hath enough? Who is the he referred here? He means here Shylock. So according to Lancelot, Bassanio has the grace of God, and his previous master Shylock has enough wealth. He hath enough. That means he has enough wealth. Okay, and there's a saying you can mark somewhere in the text. Uh, the grace of God is better than gear. Gear means possession. So he believes that the grace of God is better than gear. So we also believe that whatever wealth or possessions we have, if we don't have the grace of God, we won't be happy. Is it? We won't be able to live a happy life. That's what he says. The grace of God is better than gear. There's a saying, grace of God is better than all the worldly possessions. So that's why he had preferred to serve Bassanio. He has the grace of God. Bassanio, thou speakest well. So Bassanio is astonished to hear this clown speak so well like this. Okay. So he says, oh, you are speaking very nicely. Go, father, with thy son. Take leave of thy old master and inquire my lodging out. Give him a livery more guarded than his fellows. See it done. Okay. So So Bassanio tells his father and Lancelot, okay, go, father, with thy son. So he tells Gobbo and Lancelot to uh, go. That means, father, you can go along with your son. Take leave of thy old master. So first, he has to go to his old master and bid him goodbye. So who is the old master? Lancelot's old master is Shylock. So he has to go back to Shylock and bid him goodbye. And then what else he has to do? He has to find out Bassanio's lodging, where Bassanio lives, or Bassanio's residence, and inquire my lodging out and find out where I live and come there. That's what Bassanio tells the father and the son. Give him a livery. This is told to his followers. Okay, Bassanio is telling this to his servants. Okay, to his followers, he says, give him a livery. That is, to give Lancelot a uniform more guarded than his fellows. See it done. So he says, he tells them that they have to give a very beautiful uniform, more guarded, that means with more decorations and more ornamental stripes. A better uniform with more guarded means more ornamental stripes than his fellow servants. So Lancelot should get a better uniform than the other servants. See it done. See that it is done. Lancelot, father, in. Okay, father, in means father, come along. I cannot get a service. No, I have never a tongue in my head. Okay, so Lancelot is asking his father. See, father, you only told me that I cannot get a service. I don't have a tongue in my head. I cannot speak well. See what had happened now. So that's what it is. See, father, I cannot get a service. No, you said no. I have never a tongue in my head. You told me no that I don't have a tongue. That means I don't speak well. Well, if any man in Italy have a fairer table, which doth offer to swear. So he says, see, he tells this looking on to his palm. Okay, looking on to his palm, and he says, if any man in Italy have a fairer table means fairer palm. If any man in Italy has or possess a better palm than his, which doth offer to swear upon a book, then he has to swear upon a book. See, when people are making oaths, they just keep their right hand on the Bible, okay, or their holy books. So, whatever religion they follow, they keep the right hand over the holy book. So here he says that let that person keep his right hand on the Bible, okay, that I shall have good fortune. Now, he looks into his palm. So he, as if he knows palmistry, reading the lines in the palm, that is called what? Palmistry. Okay. Some people know, they say that they know how to read the palms, the lines in the palm, and tells about a person's future life. Okay, so he looks into his palm and tells that, uh, go to, here's a symbol line of life. So line of life, that is the ball of the thumb, from starting from the ball of the thumb. Okay, and so he says, here is a symbol line of life, and here's a small trifle of wives. Okay, so here's the line of life, and another line he looks and shows and says that here is a line that shows, that deals with us wives. Okay, and what does he say? Um Alas, 15 wives is nothing. So he says, alas, 15 wives is nothing. It's not a big number, is it? According to Lancelot. Okay. So he has to have, or he is to have 15 wives. 11 widows and 9 maids is a symbol coming in for one man. But here again he says 11 widows and 9 maids. That means what? 20. Okay. So 11 widows and 9 virgins, 9 unmarried ladies is a symbol coming for one man. So uh, that is a symbol coming. That's a very good record for a man. And then to escape drowning thrice. Then another line shows that he escapes drowning 3 times. He escapes drowning 3 times. And to be in peril of my life with the edge of a feather bed. And here are symbol escape. Then he tells that he may escape the danger of falling from the edge of a feather bed. That's another escape, and these are all symbol escapes. Well, a fortune be a woman. We know that in Shakespeare's plays he has depicted fortune as a woman goddess, a blind goddess, okay, reeling the wheel of fortune. So here he says, if fortune be a woman, she is a good wench for this year. Then she is a good, okay, woman, a good one For this year means for this fortune telling. Father, come, I'll take my leave of the Jew in the twinkling of an eye. So here he tells his father to come along, and he says he'll go to the Jew, that is the previous master, Shylock, and bid him goodbye and return, and he will return in a twinkling of an eye. Twinkling of an eye means what? In a moment, twinkling of an eye. It take a very little time. So that's what he says. He will return in a twinkling of an eye. Exit Lancelot and old Gobbo. Okay, so they exit from the stage, and now Bassanio. I pray thee, good Leonardo, think on this. So he turns to Leonardo and tells that, think on this, these things being bought and orderly bestowed. So Bassanio had been talking to Leonardo about the things that he has to do before they go to Belmont. Okay, so these things, okay, what he had been talking to Leonardo, these things should be bought and orderly packed. They have to be orderly packed or properly packed, return in haste, and then return quickly. He has to return or come back quickly. For what? For because I do feast tonight. Because he is giving a feast. Okay. He is giving a dinner, a feast tonight. To whom? My best esteemed acquaintance. Hey thee, go. So he says he is giving a dinner party to his most beloved and valued friends, my best esteemed acquaintance. Hey, thee, okay, now go along. That means do as I have told you, or all these things, do all these things, and then return, because Bassanio is going to give a dinner party for his best, that means his beloved, and esteemed, that means valued friends. And then Leonardo replies, my best endeavors shall be done herein. So he replies that he will do his best in this matter. So he says that he will do his best, my best endeavors, or I'll do my best in this matter. So what does Leonardo reply? Leonardo replies that he will do his best. That means whatever Bassanio had asked him to do, he will do according to his best of his ability. They part and walk away in opposite direction, and Leonardo meets Gratian. Okay, we'll stop here, children. Now, I hope you understood this part. So, what special privilege would Lancelot have if he serves Bassanio? If Lancelot serves Bassanio, he will have the privilege of having new uniforms. Okay, and then you find Bassanio telling Leonardo that Lancelot should be given a special uniform with ornamental stripes, better than the other servants. What kind of attitude against the Jews is shown in this scene? See, when Lancelot tells that if I stay with the Jew any longer, I'll become a Jew. When he says like that, this is a kind of the attitude they have against the Jew. That means according to the Christians, the Jews are miserly in nature. So that's what Lancelot tells his father, that he is famished under Shylock's service, and he has grown so thin for want of food, and his bones and ribs can be counted with any finger. Okay, and what does Lancelot predict? Okay, reading his palm. So after reading his palm, Lancelot foretells that he will have a long life, and he will marry a large number of wives. And then how many? 11 widows and 9 virgins in all. And then he will escape 3 times from drowning, and will have an escape once falling out from a feather bed. These are the things that he tells reading his palm. Okay, children, I hope you understood. Please read the text at home. Okay, you have to be thorough with the text. Okay, we'll meet in the next class. Bye.